We say morning, Arthur.
Hello.
And Colm.
Gerard Arthur. Good morning, lads.
Very interesting overnight stuff. Lots of. Did you see a rise to Becks? Did you see?
Yeah, I did. Finally.
All that lobbying eventually paid off. Was this new news? I hadn't heard it because I'd been following his thwarted attempt to become a Sir for a long time. It was very enjoyable. All that queuing up for the death of the Queen. Remember that?
He queued properly, not like
on his own. Holly and your man.
Your man.
The
boy. Hiya.
Yeah.
And then
Phil,
didn't he call it a disgrace?
Who?
Beckham, that he wasn't knighted a few years ago.
Was
there
leaked,
some
yeah,
email leak?
Oh, yeah. It was an angry exchange.
I tell you what, though, you won't find many people more patriotic. Do you know what I mean? He really loves England.
In a good way, though.
In a really
In a
good
healthy
way.
way.
In a good, it's it might be jarring for some people.
King and country.
That he loves it, but he's very passionate about his own country.
I loves me county.
He loves his country. Absolutely loves it.
But yeah, they were.
But you're
down on bended knee to have a sword dangled over your head.
What did he get it for?
I presume
Golden
it was
balls.
services to life at this stage, isn't it? Because the football finished 12 years ago.
For getting rich, for now not being a commoner anymore.
And now
so
he's a businessman now, isn't he? He's an entrepreneur. Although are the UK benefiting from Beckham's enterprises?
tax.
Where does he live?
He got bought out of.
Where's his primary residence?
He got bought out of Salford City. Well, I think they all still live in England, don't they?
I presume he's a lot of the time
Are they
in Miami.
estranged from one of the children as well? Jesus, I know too much about his family.
Yeah, you do. You see, your subconscious is finding a lot of that stuff. But like the royal family for yourself.
Your phone force feeds you that stuff. Anyway, sorry, we got sidetracked from Alexis McAllister. Take the hat off, and you might be able to score. And lo and behold,
Yeah, Thibaut Courtois. What a game he had in goal for Real Madrid.
was it a bit odd that the one that finally beat him was straight at him?
No, I thought you'd say that. So I have
Did you?
I have this prepared.
Okay.
Right. It was
Sorry for being so-
it was in that corridor of between face and arm.
The opposite of uncertainty. The straight
Which
in
as a
your face.
goalkeeper is,
Yeah.
I would say, nigh on impossible to save. If you actually look at all of his saves, right?
Would you
it was all
say it's like his Achilles heel?
you'd expect him to
It's
save
not a heel, a face.
everything he
It's
saves,
Achilles' face.
but that itself is a compliment to the boy because of his greatness. Like we we're talking about best goalkeepers, and do you know what? To be honest, we probably never talk about best goalkeepers, but he probably is.
We used to.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
Why did we drop off?
There's definitely more of a conversation at one point.
Is he the best? Well, so you have Alisson, you had Ederson, he fell off, and then I think Courtois. And then after that, you're saying, sure, who's around? Manuel Neuer's still knocking about. So he did very well. Liverpool much improved. Real Madrid quite poor. You're always in this context of the thing like, how much does it matter in the Champions League games? I, for one, forget about the lack of jeopardy when the game is on.
Yeah,
But before, during and after, or before and half time and after, I'm like, sure, it doesn't matter anyway. Look at PSG last season. Look at them last night. You know.
I do feel it's taken away from it a wee bit.
Possibly, yeah.
But if these two had played in the group stages, there'd be two other shit teams in the group, and we'd
exactly.
know. It
There's always a chance, you see. There's always a chance that there's a Galatasaray or whatever, and something happens. I do think it has taken away from it a wee bit, like because you'd have to be. You really have to fall apart not to get out.
Yeah, okay.
We're only 1.5 seasons into this, right? Into this new format.
If Liverpool had been beaten,
They'd still have 6 points.
Well, if Liverpool are beaten, right, we're not talking about them in the Champions League.
no, we're talking about their overall form.
Yeah.
Verts is Verts played quite well, and they found the shape of the team. Bradley was brilliant.
Yeah.
So I don't think, so you can write it off, right? Which is, I think, what a lot of people are doing, saying it doesn't matter, they're all going to come out. But what Liverpool need to do is build a team.
Yeah.
This new team, and make sure that everybody who plays is playing well.
Yeah.
And I think Virgil was good last night. Bradley was good.
He sure wanted to tell Wayne Rooney that, yeah. It doesn't really matter at the moment, the Champions League. You're only paying attention in where are we now? Early November. When is this finished? Mid-December? Probably. Let's say it is, right?
Does it go to the other side of the year?
Oh, you could be right there, boy. You could be right. Anyway, whatever. It's going to end in the grand scheme of things. It's going to end soon. We'll start paying attention with about 2 or 3 games to go.
We're halfway. Yeah, there's 4 games left.
4 games left. So we're halfway through. It's like I'm not even looking at the table, to be honest.
No.
From first to what is it? 36. I have a gist of where everyone is, but I'm not that interested in where the table is. I'll take the games at their merit. Absolutely.
I think the only change this year is that it does matter where you finish in the top 6. I I think
You
if
get
you're
seeded,
you
reverse
get
seeded.
you get a
home
better
first, is it?
something
Sure,
like
what's,
that,
is
yeah.
that, is
But
that
I think
actually
it's worse.
beneficial?
I
Is
think
that
it's worse.
statistically beneficial? You mentioned Wirtz there. Geez, the pace off him. The speed off him in the first half there. He capitalised on a Madrid mistake, squared it. And how the guy doesn't have an assist for Liverpool yet is remarkable. That was probably Courtois' best save of the game.
I'm convinced this is what he was bought for.
These games.
Real Madrid.
No, like Europe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
So last night
like Varane.
they made one change. Varane. It's amazing how Varane's been brought back into the conversation after 2 decades, primarily from Wirtz. When at the very early days of Wirtz at Liverpool, we were talking about Varane. They made one change from the weekend, so Gakpo was out and Wirtz was in, and they're subtly, gradually getting there in terms of what they want to do. It's funny, this time last week I was speculating about Arne Slot's future, and now that's firmly put to bed because they beat Aston Villa and they beat Real Madrid. And now it's kind of, Man City this weekend will be very interested. Yet I'm fascinated by that game personally. But Madrid, they were poor. And look, we'll talk way more in depth about Madrid with Graham. But the big takeaway last night's Virgil van Dijk versus Wayne Rooney, isn't it?
Yeah, the slow, quiet, understated suturing. Wayne's like, well, no, I mean, I stand by what I said. No, you don't really. Will we play it?
I think we should play it. Like,
if anybody who hasn't seen this, Wayne Rooney's busy, isn't he? He's embracing the whole.
I like it.
I work
for
for
this
BBC.
version.
I work for TNT. I'm on podcasts.
Yeah,
Do you know his son turned 16?
Kai.
Yeah.
Think
about that.
I know.
Rooney had already scored.
Rooney had already was the starter.
Scored the Arsenal goal, hadn't he?
Well, yeah,
15?
somewhere. No, he was 16. Somewhere
Was he?
in 16. But yeah, that's how far we've come.
Okay, let's roll it there, Ocean.
People can say stuff and will be picked up and made bigger than what else. But I think it's good that, especially ex-players that play at the highest level, played at the top, that dealt with difficult moments as well, to put also a lot of things in perspective, I think.
I'm not saying it no more because I think I've spared them on. I think we've put them on a winning streak. But no, I think when you win the Premier League, and I think what I've said, it was fair, when you win the Premier League and then you go on a run where you lose 3-4 games in a row, which you don't expect from Liverpool over the last few years. And then as Virgil as you as the captain, I think that's your opportunity then to go and lead the players in. And that's what I was saying. I think that happens in football, and I think the response has been great from Virgil, from the team. So
I think if you would watch games, then I would definitely take the responsibility. I think the comment about that I signed my new deal, and then it's like, that's it, and I'll let it slide. I think that was a bit, but that's my personal opinion.
It reminds me of another Manchester United legend talking to a current, at the time, Liverpool legend, Roy Keane, Jurgen Klopp. Remember that? When Keane was having a go, and then Klopp was like, I want to take Mr. Keane up on that. And it was the first time ever I saw a version of Roy where he's like, well, I was just saying. And you had it there a bit with Wayne Rooney. I like it though. I like the beef. Now, Van Dijk's saying, like, gee, if you watch the games, Wayne, you know what you're talking about. That was absolute invitation for Rooney to come back. But Rooney, like, he's a busy man, right? Becoming more and more media savvy. He's aware of what's going to do well here. And it's a little cheeky smile without saying a word.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, there's also Evertonian on Liverpool beef buried deep in the psyche of that too, which I think actually ends up being good for all of them, right? It's good for Rooney's media career that he said something that actually the players have responded to.
Yeah, he was.
Virgil went on and talked more. I don't know, was it in that bit or was it later on? He was like, it doesn't affect me, it affects the young players. I've been through this. You think that was the lady doth protest too much?
He's a good talk.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think you actually can wind them up.
And
he doesn't often admit any wrongs.
I think you can wind them up.
He
Yeah.
has been poor at times this
he
season.
played really well last night. So
Yeah.
maybe Rooney is correct as well in saying that I've inspired them to. Has he been that poor though? Like,
He's been relative.
The balance of the team hasn't been great. He's been okay. And
Relatively, they've conceded an awful lot of goals.
yeah, it
know what
is
I
a
mean?
team game.
I
Like,
know, but that is the point.
It's not like he was Emi Martinez passing the ball out to Mo Salah at the weekend.
No, but the point Rooney's making is that they're the leaders of that team. And Salah, you would not deny, has been poor. Like, all things considered, like, by his own standards, he has
I don't know
been
if the
poor.
body language thing a real thing, or like the balance of the team was shit. They didn't know who was going to play it right back. Bradley wasn't playing it right back. They put Szoboszlai back there. The Szoboszlai comes out of the midfield. Suddenly there's no protection in front of him. Like,
But they bet Arsenal with Szoboszlai at right back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they
Like,
didn't-
so
they-
there's a
did they
certain.
play well that day? I don't know. Everybody now in retrospect is like, oh, they were jammy.
It was a good 50-50 game, and it was a great free kick. But it's not. We can't be too revisionist now after 2 wins to kind of go like, oh, this was all nonsense. Liverpool lost was it 5 or 6 games in 6 or 7,
Yeah, I thought
and looked poor doing so.
they weren't poor against United. United were smashing.
They weren't very good against Man United.
They weren't bad, I thought. The XG was insane.
But we don't hold Man United and Liverpool on the same thing going into that match. There's not like there was
no,
two
but they should have
levels.
won on balance. If you play that game again, Liverpool end up winning that game.
Two seasons now, and Man United have
well
taken 4 points from those games. So I'd say probably on the balance of things, maybe that's not the case.
So you think Rooney was entirely correct, and it did actually inspire?
I think if Liverpool had not beaten Villa at the weekend, and that had given them the kind of fill-up to come up and speak, Virgil van Dijk's not coming out saying that. And it's not. He's judging the last thing where they've lost 5 or 6 games. It's very easy in retrospect now because they've won well, 2 great games, no goals conceded. But that's a change. They conceded a lot of goals. Conceded 3 goals at Brentford, like.
Yeah, he just seemed overworked, and maybe that's put upon himself that he feels this enormous amount of responsibility to sort out this largely brand new defence and only one fit centre back next to him. There was that moment where he's looking at Milas Kerkez the other week when he smacks the ball off Kerkez's head, goes out for a corner, and he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is not what we do here. And he looks like a manager in charge of a lot of young fellas. He's dad, like.
Yeah.
He's dad, but he also has to cook,
back,
he also has to cook dinner.
Is that what we're saying?
I don't think so, no. I don't think they're back. You need a bit of a wider thing. I mean, Villa's record there is shocking. So it's a hard one to go and say.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Look, maybe. There's probably caveats for a lot of these wins.
Yeah,
you can
and the defeats. And the defeats. Like, it's not, as you're saying, like, it's not like they're terminally, I don't think they're, like, bollocks. It's not, they're not finished.
I could see them, I honestly still could see them in a remarkable turn of events, still challenging, if not winning the league, or I could also see them finishing like 8th. They're a team of extremes this season. I could see it going both ways.
I think Arsenal are too strong, but
they look incredible at the moment. Yeah, but I would say
no shot on target last night.
Really, yeah. I would say it's November. That's all. But Arsenal are doing everything perfectly at the moment. That's all I'd say for Arsenal.
I don't think there's a hope in the world that they finish outside the top 4.
Okay.
Like there's no form that they would be in.
But do you think that they can win the league?
I think they can win the Champions League. You'd have to make Arsenal heavy favourites to win the league at this point.
I think so. I know we're going off the Arsenal thing. We're going off. I
think Arsenal and City are better at the moment.
At the moment,
like, Arsenal have. I should have checked. Like, I'd love to know what the points thing is from Arsenal this season. Liverpool last.
Yeah, we must find out. I'm an Arteta fan. Like, I think he's done a really good job, as I've said several times. But that's my one doubt, is that he can go that extra step. And if he does, unbelievable. Can I just mention one more thing about this game last night?
Yeah.
I'm generally open to people's perspectives. I like seeing things from others' point of view, but I still, 6 months later, cannot understand the Trent thing. I still can't believe he's getting booed out the gate. It's unbelievable for me. He comes on, doesn't do an awful lot, but heavily booed, and it's one of those things we'll forever agree to disagree with the people who feel strongly about Liverpool fans should be booing Trent. I thought we were done with that conversation. The quirk of the fixture list means it was back up again. I just can't believe it.
The mural being defaced.
Yeah.
No need for that. I think it's okay to. I think it would be okay if it wasn't so intense, right? If there wasn't like this visceral level of hatred around it. Like, it's okay to.
If he sees it in a pantomime way, he'll sleep well. But there was a video last night of them going around the pitch afterwards, and he's being embraced by all his former Liverpool teammates, and he's right by the crowd, and they're just applauding. They're applauding the players, but there's no visceral hate towards Trent after the game. So if it is a bit of like, oh, this is just in the game itself, but then the mural gets damaged. I was like, look, the guy won everything for you. He wanted to try something new. Okay, you didn't get any money from him. Is that the reason you're so angry? Because you got no money from him? I don't know. You'll tell me because he didn't do any media last season, and he said it's a boyhood club and all that, but like, people are entitled to try something new.
And they certainly are.
It's not like he went to Man United.
Do you know what I mean? It's just bizarre. Anyway, I know we have loads to get through, but I just wanted to say that.
Maybe he'll come back and go to United though. Maybe
that would be one of the Paul Ince, like.
Fair play then.
Is it more or less
Reverse
likely
Paul
that he's going to come back to Liverpool with all this? Yeah. Is it unlikely?
Paul Ince is never to be seen again, like in terms of reputation, when he left, and he was shunted.
Arsenal are favourites for the Champions League, by the way, which.
Yeah, but then you go through so who would be favourites? Like Paris Saint-Germain at the
Arsenal
moment
are favourites.
Aren't great.
Bayern Munich are second. Paris Saint-Germain are third. Barca are fourth. Along the same price as Liverpool. Man City 5th, Real Madrid 6th, which seems like good value all of a sudden. And then it's Chelsea, Inter Milan after that, and they're big prices, 25-1 by Chelsea.
Sorry, a word there for Mickey van de Ven's goal. I mean, Son Heung-min did it. Same goal against Burnley, but this is a centre half. He almost scored that goal against Manchester United at Old Trafford last season, but I think he did pass that one.
Yes, he did.
And last night, the pass was probably onto his right, but now it's an option for his epitaph or whatever. Because what a finish.
His epitaph.
He went all the way, I scored that great goal
20s.
against later. That's what I mean. It's there forever. If he had passed it,
His first line of the obituary,
would have been a great first one. Never mind the acclaim, his family or friends or anything like that.
Goal of the year
that
winner.
goal against Copenhagen, the second of 4. Beautiful.
It was beautiful. There's something, I don't know, because it's a shot from so far out, it's like...
Huh?
It's not as aesthetically pleasing as... The way everybody's raving about it, it's like the best goal of the year. I'm like, I don't know.
He was inside the box.
What?
He ran the pitch.
I know, I saw the goal.
Yeah. What do you mean he shot from far away?
He takes it from quite far out.
Oh, you want him to go further again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's Astro levels then. Then you are taking the
There's
piss.
no...
Swap teams.
There's no finish to it,
it's a beautiful...
It's a
what do you
Thunder
mean,
Bastards.
No. He curls it around the goalkeeper. Bobby now will be screaming in the comments there, I'd say. David Badil will be on to you. Beautiful finish.
Fair play. And obviously falling out with the manager just before a big European game is exactly the way you should prepare for these things.
What's going on with Spurs? Like the ground will fall in them there at the weekend. And now they hammer Copenhagen. But maybe that's the levels.
The Colm Boohig touch to kill the ball for the first goal is actually the most impressive thing that I saw all night.
The Brennan Johnson goal, the Mark Hughes type finish.
No. So the let me just get the live score exactly. So I've got it right here. So the first goal, Randall Colm Boohig chases in, the goalkeeper kicks it off him, cannons up in the air, and instead of him trying to head it in or shin it in, he kills it with a touch, Berbatov-esque.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, you've made a chance now. But he looks up, finds a pass, and there's a side foot in to the back of the net by, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say. I'm going to tell you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anytime now.
Keep filling.
It is Brennan Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first. Brennan Johnson. The thing to talk about there is the Brennan Johnson finish. It's Mark Hughes against Barcelona. He goes way out wide. Very calm finish.
I'm mixing them up, the two. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's Odegaard. It's Odegaard's goal.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Odegaard. Yeah. And then Johnson got
second goal.
BJ got sent off.
It was the other way around. Brennan Johnson scored the first one. Good finish. Sure. But the Odegaard goal is made by the touch from Randall Colm Boohig. Anyway.
So Spurs are a bit all over the shop. And then Arsenal, as you say, very comfortable again last night. And PSG lose to Vincent Kompany's Bayern. There you go. That's our football.
You want to talk about Sexton?
Yeah, Johnny Sexton. We have that clip, do we?
We do.
Yeah. We hear it first. We'll talk then.
We were criticised that, coming into the 23 World Cup, we didn't have enough replacements in certain positions. So, you can often the results dictate the narrative and the performances dictate the narrative, and we understand that. But Andy's job is to make sure that they're all improving, and that come the World Cup in 2 years' time, that we've got 3 or 4 options that can do the job really well. And the 2 lads are finding it at the moment. For all he's training really well in the background. Harry Byrne will play this week in Spain. So we need to build competition, and then obviously closer to the World Cup, maybe not. I'm not sure what Andy's plans are, but he might go with one and put all his eggs in one basket, but then he'll be criticised for that as well.
So flashbacks to you, though, is it?
Well, that's what I just said. It's you'll judge it all by the outcome of the World Cup. So it didn't work last time because we didn't win the quarter-final and we didn't go on and win the World Cup. Whereas if we'd done it, well, then everyone would have said, "Oh, what a great decision to stick with the old cranky bastard at out half." And so that's the
A few things there.
Go on.
Maybe not where you want to start here, but if you are a self-aware cranky bollocks, does that give permission for you to continue to be said cranky bollocks?
As in, it's a shield.
Yeah, because he said it's kind of struck by the tone there. That he still has that edge that he's like. Well, that's what I said. but that makes Johnny Sexton.
Two things. That was the first thing. What was the second thing?
The second thing is a broader conversation about he's come back into the game now where he thought he was going to step out of the game because there's an obsession. He's got to a certain level of fame and recognizability that I wonder, was it very difficult for him to assimilate into the real world? Or like he actually said on the record, was that I was learning something from scratch. It's very difficult. This is an acclaimed guy in a particular field who probably knows more than the vast majority of humanity about what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then he goes to something where he doesn't know anything about that. That must be incredibly difficult and extremely unrelatable for people.
Yeah.
Now, you might want to talk about what he's saying right now, and all that's fair enough, but this is my overall thought about it.
We'll hear a bit more from Sexton later on.
Yeah.
For the Green 15 with Dara. But I think his coaching journey is exactly the right thing for him. It's a bit early for him to be involved with the Ireland setup. He says that in the thing. It's like maybe this, but you have to grab the opportunity when it comes. So in fairness to him, he's doing that. If you remember, Paul O'Connell was like, I'm not qualified enough to be going on the lines, and Sexton did go on the lines. So there's definitely like a hothousing of his coaching that's happening at the moment. And I ultimately think that's going to be to Ireland's benefit, right? Because he does seem to have an incredibly analytical mind when it comes to this stuff. I think the one thing I would say about that comment is that the narrative around the 2023 World Cup isn't a narrative, it's the truth. The thing didn't work. Like, we went into the 2023 World Cup without anybody available to play as the second out half. He had to play all the games in the group stages because he got stupidly suspended by wandering on the pitch and having to go with the referee after the Leinster game, and got banned, and then had to play all the group stages to make sure that he was match fit for the knockout stages. And we didn't give an opportunity to Crowley in the group stages to get some fitness so that he could play 15, 20 minutes when we needed him against New Zealand. And that's not narrative. They're all facts. I just feel like I've got a shield here which isn't quite analysing the situation properly. And I think if they're going to be, if they're going to get to the next stage where they actually get to the next stage, they hold themselves to account and they say that was our mistake, as opposed to it being a narrative, because it's not a narrative, it's the truth.
But why does it come back to him? Why does it come back to that? Was that the chief failing?
Well, he said
that's the narrative around it. But like,
we didn't have depth.
Yeah. But is that it? Like, that's why they didn't beat New Zealand?
Well, I mean, obviously there's loads of reasons why they didn't, but like, they didn't have anybody. He played much longer in that game than you would want somebody at that age to play. Or you could start with Crowley and bring him on for the last 40 minutes or the last 60 minutes and go, right, there's he's out on his feet at the end of the game when we're chasing it. There's loads of mistakes they made.
Yeah.
Like, there's loads of things that apparently Andy Farrell comes in and points out loads of points that they left on the field, and that this was their big opportunity. And it was like that. We had a very good team, and we were as good as New Zealand, and we did inspire greatness from New Zealand by telling them how much better we were over the previous 3 or 4 years.
There could have been a freezing nature to the decision to make around Sexton. It's about a quarter of an hour to go. Crowley could have come on when he got tired, right? But then you're like, well, this is the last time he's ever going to play. So his last few minutes of rugby, you have to let him try.
But you don't, is the thing. Because
so if you take him off, bring Crowley on, and you still lose the game, that's bound to be the biggest talking point.
Maybe, but the original issue is the suspension.
Totally.
Which means that he had to play all those minutes and all those games. You're like, that doesn't make any sense, lads. Here, you got to give Crowley some game time.
But if he hadn't played enough going into the All Blacks quarter final, then he'd be completely unfit.
So what's the issue was getting suspended, and the suspension was totally avoidable, and that's holding yourself to account. And I just think that, like, I think he's going to be a brilliant coach. And I think he talked about being at Brentford, he talked about being at Rovers, he talked about being down in Australia. Mm-hmm. I think that, like, he's obviously given this his full attention. Just, one can criticise Sexton. He put an incredible career in. I saw somebody doing a Mount Rushmore of out halves recently, and he was there alongside, and this wasn't an Irish person, alongside Dan Carter and Johnny Wilkinson. I can't remember who the fourth person was, but like, that's the standing he's in. But that doesn't mean that, I don't know. Do you disagree?
About which aspect? He'll be a great coach.
No, I don't know. But
I'm just looking back because I'm interested. You'll fill me in here. Why? So the first of that year's Six Nations, was Ross Byrne injured in that World Cup, or was he just not picked? I don't remember that. So he plays against, like, he comes off the bench at 47 minutes against France in that year's Six Nations.
Ross Byrne did. Sorry, is that what you're asking?
For Sexton, yeah, and he played the first two games, and then Crowley comes in for the third, and then it's back to Ross Byrne again. Sorry, I know I'm bringing this up out of the blue. I'm just curious what that, because I don't like. It's not. I'm just interested in your perspective on it, insofar as it's not like they went into it. It's not like, say, from Farrell's perspective, that they went into it blind. They obviously went into it with some sort of
but sorry, their
structure
plans,
and strategy.
Their plans all got blown up when Sexton got suspended.
Yeah, but that, yeah,
I don't think in an ideal world. So say the suspension doesn't happen. He plays a couple of World Cup warm-ups, gets the game time. He plays the first game. Maybe did we win that 80-0 against Romania? Was that the first game or was it the second game? You put Crowley in for the second game. Crowley's
Scotland,
coming off the
wasn't it?
bench. Whatever.
It was Romania,
whatever
Scotland,
the
South
order.
Africa.
So maybe you start with Crowley in the first game, and Sexton comes off the bench for 25 minutes, and it gets his eye in. Plays 60 minutes against Scotland, comes off the bench, and you give Crowley 20 minutes, and it's like, okay, we have strength and depth here, and we're not going to be stringing out the 36-year-old or 38-year-old or whatever age he was.
Yeah, I'm just interested in the idea that that's the difference against New Zealand.
Well,
that because he had played an extra 160 minutes in the weeks building up to it.
But they'd no replacement, so when he's out on his feet in the last 10 minutes,
yeah,
there's nothing on the bench that they're looking at and going, okay, we trust you because we've seen you.
My memory is that Crowley had played at least one important game for Ireland to that point that he had started. That he wasn't
in the Six Nations. Yeah,
he wasn't. He wasn't a complete rookie.
But they didn't give him any exposure, enough exposure in the World Cup.
I'm trying to bring myself back to that time, like that Saturday night, and I remember thinking they could bring on Crowley here. It is a bit of a risk because he's untested at this level.
So Dara's putting in there, Ross Byrne was at that World Cup. He was third choice. Anyway, look, I don't know. I like, it's not like there weren't options there, but that seems like a far broader failing.
And he's talking there about making sure that there's depth.
But by the same
for
token,
the next World Cup, and I think he's right about that. Like, I think that, it wasn't just a narrative, though. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that, like, it seems to me they're learning. I think last year they were given, and he talks about this, the rest of the press conference is really interesting. He talks about Prendergast being way ahead of where he was at that stage. He was playing AIL when he was Prendergast age, trying to get on the Leinster bench. And that now you have these two. And it was really interesting to say, there's four there, and maybe he's going to pick somebody a year out from the World Cup, which I think is exactly what's happening at the moment. They're going to give Crowley a go now. He is first choice, and to get past him now, you have to go over him. You can't pull him down.
Yeah. I wonder what the best use of Johnny Sexton's going to be for his career and where he'll end up.
He'll end up as Ireland head coach.
Well, it's interesting because there's a mixture. There's a mixture of his character, right? So there is the cranky bollocks. There's a bit of an edge to him all the time, but there's a lot of an edge to him, to be honest. But then at the same time, he has a humility about him that he goes to Shamrock Rovers, he goes to Brentford, he's trying to learn from other people. He tries an office job, and he's determined to try it properly.
Yeah.
My only concern with that type of stuff, though, is like, all these guys do that. Like, why are we hearing about it? Why are we being told? Why is that being sifted out, that this is happening?
I guess I'm talking about Sexton himself there specifically, and not generally rugby players in that.
Oh no, me too. Yeah,
he would, like, everything went through him, like everything, and you could argue now that Ireland don't have anywhere near the leadership on the pitch because of his absence. In fact, that's a pretty easy argument to make. Like, that's how important he was, both as a leader and as a player. Everything went through him. So I think it would be very easy for him not to have the humility to try anything else. He could be a pundit. He could be straight into a head coach. He could do loads of things. And by the way, like, that's not to say that's a bad thing to do, just to be a pundit. Like, everybody goes down that route themselves if they want to. It's just for Sexton, it's fascinating what he's going to do. Can you imagine the drop down in adrenaline he has? For years and years, everything went through him, for better or for worse.
I'd say coaching obviously is something akin to that, right? Like, if you look at the coaches living stuff on the sideline, anyway, We'll come back to this.
Yeah, there's a few other things as well. So we have this issue that GA are terrified about, continuing losing players to the AFL, particularly young players. So is the Irish Examiner there this morning? So this is the Kerry CEO, Twiss, saying it there. I think it's in the... There it is it? Yeah. So, this is in light of Colm McDonald, of course. Reportedly or confirmed going to Australia?
All that confirmed.
Confirmed, yeah. Kerry CEO Peter Twiss insists the county will not take the AFL's heavy recruitment of footballers in the county lying down. In terms of Kerry, we don't take it lying down, and we'd be aware of young lads who are being employed, and we'd always maybe try and give them another option with schools or college or whatever. You have to be kind of careful doing that because you have to appreciate him and his family, but you should certainly try to be seen to be doing something. Now, to be seen to be doing something, is that platitudes? Is that perception rather than reality? What can you do to prevent a young fella from going to the other side of the world to develop a professional career? It's what we're going to talk with David Brady about this, because I think David Brady is quite passionate about it. I actually think a lot of the GAA community are quite angry about it, that it's seen as this behemoth of the AFL are saying, come over, have a great time, learn your trade, get paid for it, great lifestyle. What can the GAA do? So Kerry players are susceptible. Mayo. Not everyone.
No. How many dubs are there? How many men?
The dubs don't go.
Men dubs.
Now that's coincidental, possibly, but
yeah,
is it also opportunity within those counties?
They're probably. It'd be great to know the detail to which they go and the areas they target. Like, I wonder, is it harder to get someone out of Dublin? Then, yeah, I don't know.
The Zach Toohey story was fascinating. We had him in when Jared, we did the book with him, and he was minding his own business playing Gaelic football in Laois, and little did he know he's being scouted in the sideline. Scouted in Laois, like.
Yeah, well, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're ready to pounce. They're hidden in plain sight.
But,
and it's very difficult to turn
beware
around.
the lanky Aussie lad with the notebook and binoculars.
Well, they're not. Yeah, but they're not typically going to be Australian, are they?
No, exactly. They're going to be a connection over here.
There's a broy element to this. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't mean that, but it is like there is something. We can't just write it off and say that it's just like, well, sure, that's this and that's fine.
But that is a consensus, though, isn't it? Because that's the answer.
Sean Moran is saying there's barely a dozen Irish players in the books of AFL clubs.
Say again, sorry.
There's 2,000 members of the GPA, and from the men, is that 2,000 men and female men and women? So maybe it's 1,000 members of the GPA, and there's barely a dozen men on the books of AFL clubs at the moment. So
but like I think the issue more so is that
they're the best 12.
They're very good players by nature, or at least they have the profile to be very good players.
Yeah. Is this a summation of it when Twiss goes on and says you can be just complaining and you've got to fight fire with fire up to a point? Now there's a limit, obviously, but I think you should never give up the battle.
No, I think that's fair enough. That's what you want them to say. But
yeah, but they're just words, aren't they? Like, words aren't going to prevent you getting on a plane.
They managed to convince Clifford to stay. They obviously have been unable to convince the other lads to stay.
Is the Clifford sell? It was like, buddy, you could be the greatest of all time here. And that's not even a 1%er. Like,
I presume there was some kind of scholarship for college and stuff like that.
I guess look at for me, it brings up the overall GAA thing and the commitment versus what you get back and all that, and then you have this lovely carrot dangling in the corner.
Yeah, the opportunity to go and have the experience of your lifetime.
Does any other two sports in the world have a similar stealing, poaching? You were saying rugby league, rugby union.
Yeah,
but the word is in the title.
American football takes some players, don't they? They definitely have a lot of Pacific Islanders and stuff as well.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestlers used to be American footballers.
Yeah,
that's the same.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Like it is. There's something unsatisfying about it because you do. Again, we were talking about it yesterday. You've lost them because we don't care about the game they're going to. You know, that's not probably going to change.
We're happy for them. When we see the reports, it was like, well, this is great. They're doing really well over there.
I'd definitely be happier if Colm McDonald, it's nothing to do with him, he can obviously do what he wants, but I'd be much happier if this summer we were like, is this guy going to get on? Are we going to see this guy playing for Mayo? Like, that is much more exciting than, geez, he's making a really good go of it there.
Yeah, I know, I get you.
Like,
but I
care.
My hope there is that it's not like 1980s Ireland, we'll never see him again. Like, you know, it was this could be because he is so young.
Yeah.
That he could just do a couple of years and come back.
Why would, if he comes? So you're saying he'll fail? Like,
No, actually, not really. No,
he's not going to come back if he's getting in the team.
Well, no, like you say. So, okay, say he does 4 years out there, which would still put him into his early 20s.
Why would he come back?
And he succeeds. Well, maybe he's done what he wants to do out there. I mean, you can leave a job when it's going well.
Nobody leaves professional sport in their mid-20s.
But he's so young that he come back and he will say, well, I had this experience. I miss home a bit. I want to play for Mayo. Go back. Sure, he could always go back to Mayo, do another couple of years, go back to the AFL. Like, this guy is so young. He has so many opportunities ahead.
Conor McKenna, Ty Kennelly job. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not...
I don't think it's impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's probably implausible insofar as, like, the guys who go there and make it, by and large, they'll come back to play for clubs sometimes, but you don't see them back again playing for county. Sometimes you do, but like it generally doesn't. It's not the given path to walk out. Like, so you're kind of just you're just leaving a professional sport. You're just kind of going like, yeah, I'll put down that money. I have to go back now and get another job. I don't think it's not just switching sports. Like, you know, it is upending your whole life.
Well, I guess so, but say playing for Mayo is his first love, but this opportunity has come up. You're relying on that. Would you relying so much on GA in general? It's for the love of it. Like, you're hoping these lads are passionate enough to actually give everything to play. That's definitely what you're relying on. There's nothing else there. Because you're living in Ireland with sun, is what Australia is.
There's a bit, like, if you're good enough, like, you get your car, you get your different bits, you get taken care of.
But he's going to get paid. He's basically going to be looked after far better in Australia than he will ever be in Ireland. But he could still be looked after when he comes home.
Taken care of isn't like a mortgage payment, though. Taken care of is like nothing. But that's a very Irish way of like, they'll be grand, you'll be taken care of. It's like, and then you're finished. The car gets taken off you. Your food allowance stops. Your grant stop. You've got injury problems that aren't necessarily getting looked after by the physio bills anymore.
We've seen that the treatment of elite Gaelic footballers in general with the GPA through different things, and we see it, and we've talked before about it, particularly within the realm of that Dublin team, and what a really effective county board setup looks like, and how they will take care of their life. Like, so many of those guys in that Dublin's team's lives have been improved for the better outside of playing football, because it's a really competent thing, and because it's a really appealing system to be within. And we know that. We know the examples of that.
The greatest team of all time you're talking about there.
I'm just talking about best practice. I'm just talking about the fact that it's best practice. It's, irrespective of what happened on the pitch, they improved an awful lot of lives of those players and gave them opportunities and gave them different things. It's not, you're right, you're not a professional athlete. You haven't made the kind of, I don't know what the money's not, I know it's not Premier League money, like, it's not huge, life-changing money. But it's, there is a way of doing it right. Like, you can keep people in. It requires a lot of effort, but it's not impossible. And I don't think that if I was, say, Colm McDonald or whatever, and you're looking at the last 12 months of Mayo football and his experience as a teenager or whatever else growing up Mayo football, and obviously a father that's really linked into it, who would have seen the best and worst of it, I can see why he would have been like, I mean, I'll take my chances elsewhere and see what happens. Yeah. Whereas with Clifford, I'm surprised there's so many Kerry lads going. It suggests a real, like, well, it's a lot of talented guys. It also suggests that there's a real depth of talent there that people are like, I might not make it. Because it's impossibly alluring to play for that team at the minute. It's as attractive as it would ever be.
Yeah. Look, the AFL aren't going to stop doing this if it's working for them. So it would be great if there was some sort of partnership developed between the GA and AFL. Even if there was a player swap. Even if an AFL, even if an Australian player came over here and played Gaelic football for a while.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this with DB at 8:40. As amateur players, Sean Moran says, Gaelic footballers are free to come and go as they see fit. That freedom of movement will inevitably take some of them to the AFL. There's very little that can be done about it except to wish them all the best and hope that sooner or later they return.
Are you up for that player swap?
Yeah.
We will say all people are free.
How do you dictate? It's like a draft.
Yeah,
all 32 counties get, or do like the weaker counties get 3 or 4 players?
Well, first of all, it's players who want to go. You can't be separating lads from their families.
Well, that's how the draft works.
It's not Vietnam.